Okay, so the session is being recorded. Now, as I said, this is the fourth lecture of the class, and next week we have our first exam. So you should take a look at a document that I have put under the exams folder. It gives you some information about the exam. It will be at the same time as the class session, so it may start any time at 6 or later, and it will be for 3 hours. Although I don't think anyone will need all the 3 hours to complete the exam. Usually my exams are not that long, so I don't think anybody would be needing all the 3 hours. You'll have to have your video on during the entire time that you are taking the exam. It will be done on D2L, and some of the questions require you to answer with Python code, and those you will have to upload to a document, to a Dropbox, I should say, on on D2L under assignments. So I will give you some directions at the beginning of the session next week. So please be here by promptly at 6. Okay. Do you have any questions on anything that we have covered so far? Anyone having questions? All right. What I want to do today would be actually show you an instance of problem solving. In fact, we will solve a problem using the Python topic for tonight, which is turtle graphics. So I will show you how to go about solving that problem. Then you will have a chance to review that material through a class exercise. And then there is a lab which asks you to solve, obviously not the same problem, but a related, I mean, somewhat similar problem. And you will develop the pseudocode in a group setting as part of the class exercise. So we'll talk about all that. I mean, I don't want to give all the details now, because then you will forget by the time you start working on those things. So what I want to do is show you a problem to solve, and then we will probably spend about 10, maximum 15 minutes in breakout rooms for you to think about the problem, come up with your ideas. Then we will meet again, and then we will see some feedback from the groups, and then I will show you my solution for the problem, the way I developed the pseudocode, the way I developed the code, etc., etc. And then I will explain the lab and how you should approach the lab, and then we will do the class exercise. Okay, so let's look at the problem for tonight. Before that, does anyone have any questions? There was a question. There was a question about a quick review of a turtle video to refresh ourselves. Well, we will see some turtle code before you start the class exercise, so I promise. So at that time, you will have an option. You will have the option. You'll have the option to ask questions, and you will have the option to review stuff. So we will get to those things a little later. Let's first see a problem here, and see what approach we should take, and then we will split ourselves into groups. But before we do that even, let me go ahead and, or maybe I will wait until we split into the breakout rooms to take the attendance. Okay, let me go ahead and show you what the problem is. Okay, I assume that all of you can see a Word document displayed. It should say example lecture 4. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the entire document right now. I will just show you the problem here and ask you to think about the problem for 10 to 15 minutes after I explain the problem and suggest a few things. Okay. Design and implement, I'm just reading here, a Python program using turtle graphics. What is the problem? Write a Python program that works as follows. So there are 3 things that the problem is divided into. It prompts for, it asks for, and reads the width of a box. So it asks for a number, and that is supposed to be the width of a box that you will draw on the screen. So let's call this value width. So let's assume that there is a variable called width into which you get a number like 300 or 350, 500, whatever. It, that is the program, draws a box in black. That is, the outline is black, inside it is all white. The width of that box is going to be whatever value you read in here. So if the user typed in 300, you will be drawing a box with a horizontal width of 300. And the height should be width divided by 7. Of course, this may not be a whole number. So we're not going to worry too much about what happens if there are fractions. We will just assume that it is going to be width divided by 7. So if it is 350, it is going to be 50. Okay. If width is 350, the height is going to be 350 divided by 7, which is 50. And this box should be centered on both axes. There is an x-axis and a y-axis, and you know that the place where the two meet, the x-axis, the horizontal axis and the vertical axis meet, is called the origin, and it is at 0, 0. So this box that you draw should be centered both horizontally and vertically. Then the third thing, so after drawing this box, the program should draw 7 circles. And each circle has a diameter of width divided by 7. And the circles are colored. So they are filled with colors in the order that those colors appear in a rainbow. So the leftmost circle is colored violet or purple, what they are synonyms. So that is the leftmost one. And so you should have the other circles colored accordingly so that they are in the order of the rainbow. And that is all, that is what the program is supposed to do. Compared to the programs that you have written in this course up until now, this is a mighty difficult program because it is, first of all, asking you to do a lot of stuff. It is asking you to draw a number of circles, and the constraints are quite rigid. The box has to be centered vertically and horizontally with respect to the origin. The circles have to be fitting within the box, and they have to be colored in a certain order. So you will see that the code for this program is not 5 or 10 lines. It's going to be many lines. So my focus tonight is to show you how even somewhat formidable looking problems can be tamed, how you can approach those problems. Don't worry, I will discuss the approach, I will discuss the pseudocode, I will discuss the program, and you can adopt this kind of an approach for solving the problem in the lab. And you can also use the same approach not the same solutions, for doing your fourth programming assignment. And then you will get a lot of satisfaction in solving something that looks difficult, but ultimately you would have uh, solved it. And you have actually 2 weeks to do assignment 4, because there is no assignment due next week. So at this point, I want to have the breakout rooms created. As I said, it is going to be just for 10 to 15 minutes. And you should discuss 3 things. One is the first thing you can see in this window.
I have a question.
Yes.
What about quizzes for next week? Is it due next week, or is it?
There is no quiz due next week. Okay. No quiz due next week. No assignment due next week. It is just the exam. Now, there are 3 things you should discuss in your group. First thing is, what are the knowledge units you need to have? I mean, knowledge with respect to general aspects. There are some general things that you can see here, for example, with respect to a rainbow. So what is that kind of a knowledge? The second thing is related to turtle graphics. Do you know enough about turtle graphics? How to draw circles, how to draw a box, how to fill a circle, how to change colors, what you mean by origin, how do you go to a certain point, all those kinds of things. So general knowledge, Python knowledge, especially related to turtle graphics. And the third thing is the problem knowledge, that is, what is the radius of the circle, how should they be arranged, etc., etc. What are the constraints imposed here? So that is the third thing. And based on this, try to come up with an approach. Okay, so let's go ahead and split ourselves into groups. Do the best job you can. Then we will come back after 10 or 15 minutes, and then we will see my approach for solving this. Then I will show you my solution, and then we will have the lab explained and begin the class exercise. So I'm going to create the groups right now. I'm going to do that. Let me go ahead and create the groups, the breakout rooms, I mean. Okay, there are 7 breakout rooms, and I have opened all the rooms. Please go ahead and join the room and discuss the aspects I mentioned. Rose?
Yes.
Okay. I should have briefed you on the problem. I did not. I am sorry about it.
Okay.
The thing is, I am trying to get them to do some brainstorming, nothing else, because I want them to absorb the problem, nothing more at this point. I don't think they will be able to come up with any pseudocode of any kind. So I'm not expecting that, but I want them to understand the problem completely. So let me show you what I have.
Okay.
Let me share the document with you.
Okay. Because I think people are just a little bit panicky, you know.
Yeah, they would be. They would be. I'm not surprised at all when you see such a huge problem, right? So they should know what the colors of the rainbow are. They
Yep.
should know what the width of or the radius of a circle should be. It should be width divided by 14, you know, because, yeah. And then somebody is asking for help. I'm going to go there later. So it should appear like this, violet, indigo. So eventually I'll tell them where the centers are going to be and such. And then what are the big things? You have to draw the big box and draw each circle, but that is too vague. That is how I'm going to show them. These are,
the
and,
logic.
yeah, how do you draw the big box? What are the, so you need to know what the coordinates are, and then you need to put the pen down and a pen up actually. Pen up and go to the first coordinate and then draw all the four things.
Okay, so that would be unique to turtle.
Right, and then you need to draw the circles. If you can draw one circle, you can draw the others without much problem. So, so I would ask them to create I would say I'm going to create a table like this for my reference, you know. So, would you like to go to a room or?
I went to 5. Yes, I would like to go to another one.
Okay, then I will let you go to 7.
Okay.
Somebody asking for help from 6.
Okay.
Go there and then yeah. Let me. I went to 2 or 3 rooms, but 2 rooms. I
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the first 2 rooms I went, 1 and 2. Let me go ahead and put you in 7.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're panicking. Oh, you're on mute. You're muted. You're muted.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was telling. I will tell. I told some students that I will tell them when to panic. Don't panic. Okay.
What they said, we are writing the code. I said, writing what code?
Yeah. That is the wrong.
I said, what did you hear that is familiar to you?
That's exactly, yeah.
So it's inferring information that you know that's in that problem. So
Exactly, yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's discuss the problem further. We are trying to find a solution. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Give me a second for that. Oops. All right. Okay. So is anyone confused about what the problem is? Anybody? Okay. So what kinds of general knowledge should you have? Before that, the worst thing that you can do to yourself when solving a problem like this is run to the computer and start typing in stuff. That is the wrong approach to take. You should see what this problem is, read and try to understand this, and then start thinking, what is it that we need to know? The first thing is we need to know what the colors of a rainbow are. At some point in my school years, I learned this acronym, VIBGY, or violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So you need to know that. If you don't know that, Google this. It should be available. Then among the other things here, this is the biggest general knowledge stuff that I need to have. Then I have other knowledge units. One is related to the problem. What is the radius of the circle, of a circle? All circles have to have the same radius. All right, so to figure that out, actually the clue is here, but why did I can also get it from here. If the 7 circles have to be in a certain width, the diameter has to be width divided by 7. So the radius has to be width divided by 14, right? So that is the second piece of unit, that knowledge unit I could think of, that is related to the problem, that is the radius of a circle. Without that, you can't draw a circle.
Sorry, can't we do the height divided by 2? Because we have to find the height to draw the box.
Yes, the height is given here, right?
Yeah, so we can do the radius as height divided
Yes,
by
that's
2.
what, exactly. That's why I said there is a clue here. But even I wrote this so that the circles would all fit properly within the box. Otherwise, I need not have even specified this. But then still you can figure out the radius by dividing this by 7 and then dividing that by 2. So that would be divided by 4. The third thing is, do I know total graphics well? Do I know how to draw a line? Do I know how to draw a circle? Do I know how to go to a certain point? Do I know what the origin means, etc., etc.? All those things I have to know. So I need to study total graphics if I don't know that. Okay. How do I draw a circle with a certain color? How do you set the color, etc.? That one can do by reading Python documentation, or in this case, you can also read the book, you know. So those things are, you can get from someplace, all right? Then the problem related things, lot of confusion, a lot of difficulties, I should say. Putting the circles in the right place. They have to all fit properly. They have to be aligned. I mean, they have to be bordering each other, etc. You have to draw a box. You have to move around without drawing lines. Sometimes you have to move drawing lines, etc. You need to import. You should know how to import turtle graphics. You should know the coordinate system. All those things I need to know. Okay, so one thing I would do before doing anything else when I get a problem like this is to draw a picture. So in this case, I will draw a picture like this. There are 7 circles, violet, indigo, blue, green. These are not perfect, but I just wanted to show you something. These colors are not perfect. I'm not sure that this is indigo, for example. The others are pretty close. So so this whole thing is width. And if I sit down and do some little algebra work, I can see that this is the center circle, and it should be at 0, 0. It should be at, its center should be at 0, 0. It should be x equals 0, y equals 0. Okay, then this circle here should be at x equal to minus w divided by 7, because the diameter is w divided by 7. And they are all at the same vertical distance from the origin. So all these coordinates have, all these circles have the center y coordinate at 0. It is only the x coordinate that keeps changing. If this is at minus w divided by 7, this should be another w to the left. So it will be minus 2w divided by 7. This should be at minus 3w divided by 7. And by symmetry, this should be at w divided by 7. This should be at 2w divided by 7. This should be at 3w divided by 7. And the box should be covering these. Okay. That is the second thing you should do. I mean, that's the first thing you should do while trying to come up with some kind of pseudocode. It is not time to start coding anything. So there are 2 big steps. One is drawing the big box. There is a box to be drawn here. How do I draw that? That is one big issue. If I can draw the big box and then draw each circle, I have solved the problem. But this is not enough as pseudocode, because this is too vague, right? So I should be giving more details here. Now, when you have a problem as complicated as this, if you write pseudocode like this, this is not going to help anybody. It is not going to help the person who is going to program. This is not going to help somebody who is trying to understand the design. This is just a first step. But obviously you have to provide more details, but it should not be so detailed that you lose the big picture. So you have to strike a balance when you write your pseudocode. This is too abstract, too vague, but you don't want to go to the level of a Python program saying, I mean, draw the next line, turn left, turn right, that kind of stuff. You should understand some kind of knowledge on the part of the programmer and on the part of the person trying to understand the design, okay? So these are too vague. So I would elaborate the first step like this. Drawing the big box is, okay, the coordinates are going to be, this is width. So if you call these width as W, this would be at, the left coordinate would be at the x-axis minus W divided by 2. the right coordinate would be a W divided by 2. So the coordinates of this box would be, let me, actually I don't have a picture of that, so maybe I should draw that. So let me go ahead and share the screen here, change the sharing. Okay, let me go ahead and share the whiteboard. And let me show you where the, so this box is going to be centered at 0, 0. That is at the center. If this whole thing is W, this has to be at minus W divided by 2. Okay. And half of the box is on the left, half the box is on the right. So this is at minus W divided by 2 at X. This should be at W divided by 2. That is the X value. Here it should be W divided by 2. Same X values for both. And here the X value would be minus W divided by 2. What about the Y values? If I figure those out, then I'm done with the coordinates of the box. So here Y is 0. And this is W divided by 7. So this has to be at minus W divided by 14. This has to be at minus W divided by 14. This has to be at W divided by 14. And this has to be W divided by 14. As you go up from the origin.
I don't get it. The width is W divided by 14?
Height.
Oh, the height.
W divided by 7. But the Y coordinates would be at minus W divided by 14 and W divided by 14. So the distance between them would be W divided by 7. So that is my coordinates for the 4 corners. Okay. Then how do okay, I have those here, right? But I didn't have a picture. Okay, how do I draw the box still? So what I could do is I could go to one of these coordinates first. You know that you can move your turtle by writing turtle.goto and giving these values. These can be the parameters for that goto method. So you can specify, if W is your width, you can say turtle.goto and then just stick this in. It will take you to the first thing. And then you can put the pen down and visit each one of these in turn. Go to the first one with the pen up. Actually, this should be pen up. Okay. And after that, you can go to the first coordinate. So that nothing gets drawn at that point. So when you go from the origin to the first coordinate, you don't want to draw anything. But then you need to draw the 4 lines. So go from here to here using turtle.goto, go to this, then go to this, and then come back to this. Then you would have drawn the box. How about drawing the circles? Well, the circles are a pain to some extent with, I mean, understanding how circles work.
I still don't get why it's 14 when it's 7.
Look at this minus W divided by 14. That is the lower part of it. And this is a W divided by 14. So the difference between these two would be W divided by 7. Okay. If you subtract minus W divided by 14 from W divided by 14, you get the height. And that would be 2 times W divided by 14, which is W divided by 7. That is the reason. Now, drawing the circle, let me show you some stuff related to circle drawing, which may not be very clear. So let me go ahead and, I think I explained that in a video too, but let me refresh that knowledge for you. All right, let me clear all this. To draw, when you draw a circle, or before drawing the circle, I should say, there is a center here, right? And let's say the radius is R. You can put your, you can go to any place and then draw a circle. But what I suggest is when you go to a location, you have, I mean, well, let me say it in a different way. You want to draw a circle at a certain place, which is X comma Y. So there is a value for X, there is a value for Y. The center has to be at X comma Y. Where should you go to draw? Well, one place you can go to is here, which is at a distance of R. And then say, I want to draw a circle here, right? Then the circle will be drawn like this. How do I know that this would be the center of the circle? For that, you need to set your direction. There is a direction for the turtle. So if you write turtle dot set direction and put 0, it means you are moving, or the turtle is moving in the horizontal direction to the right. So if you decide, or if you set the direction to 0 and go to this point, or rather go to this point and set the direction, then it will be asking the turtle to move to the right or setting its direction to the right. Now, if you draw a circle with a radius of R, the center will be to the left of this. If you look, if you're traveling in this direction to the right, the left will be here, right? Do you see that? Are there any questions? So if you set the direction to 0 and ask to draw a circle of radius R, let's say R equal to 100, then the center will be 100 units to the left of this direction. If you're traveling east, left would be north. Or you can set this to 90, then you will be going like this. But then you should go here if you want the circle to be having its center here. So that is a crucial, rather difficult piece of information, technical information regarding turtle graphics. So you have to master that if you want to solve this problem properly. So that is the second piece of trick, or that is the trickiest part of this whole turtle graphics stuff that we are learning, all right? So if you know that, then what we can do is try to see how to draw one circle. If you can draw one circle, you're set. You can just use that code to draw all the circles, making little change in every case. We know where the center is going to be. We know what color we want. So what I would do is create a table like this. I have to draw 7 circles. I would put the colors here, and Y coordinates are all going to be the same. It is only the X coordinate that changes. So I recognize that. I exploit that weakness and then simply write the X coordinate of the center for each one of these. This I got from this picture. That is the value in drawing a picture. And then what I'm going to do is recognize that it is enough to show how to draw one circle. The rest can be all extended using this table. So what do? I have to I will set the direction to right, horizontal, as I showed in that whiteboard. And then For the first one, I will set the color to violet, and I will be here. Negative 3W divided by 7, because the X has to be at minus 3W divided by 7, which is here. And the Y-axis, or the Y coordinate of where I go, would be at minus W divided by 14. That would be at the bottom line of the box, so that the center would be at Y equal to 0. Because remember, the center is to the left. And then I will draw a circle with radius W divided by 14, and I will set its color to violet. So I should know how to set the color. I will show you how to do that. And you have read it, I suppose, in the textbook. Yeah. So I can gather all this and write my pseudocode here. The first step is to input the width of the box into some variable width. Then draw the big box using this idea. See, I'm not writing detailed Python code. I'm just giving the most crucial pieces of information. Here are my coordinates. So I'll put the pen down and go to the first coordinate, pen up and go to the first coordinate, so that nothing gets drawn when I am traveling from the origin to the first coordinate. And then I put the pen down, and then I will go to each one of these points in turn, and that will get me the box. Then I will lift up the pen, draw my first circle, go to a location which is the X coordinate of the center minus W divided by 14. Use the table below for the X coordinate of the circle center. And now you can put the pen down and set the direction to right and draw a circle that is filled. And I will copy and paste that code, adjust the coordinates, adjust the color. I will get all the circles drawn correctly. So you need to plan your program well. So let me go ahead and show you the code. So let me change the share to.
This example, I can't find it on D2O.
No, it is not there. I will post it in a few minutes. I didn't want to give you the code before we started. That is the reason, okay? Yeah, here is my code. I'll be posting this after we create the breakout rooms, okay? So this is based on the pseudocode. Let me first show you how it works. So I give a window size of, like, say, 350. Draws the box and draws all the circles. If you understand the pseudocode, you are not able to see it. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah, sorry. Let me show you it. Let me show this code in execution once again. So it draws this box, then draws every circle from left to right. Okay. Now let's take a quick look at the code. If you understand the pseudocode, this is not going to be very difficult. It is just a lot of detail. So import turtle, you have to put that. Then get the width of the box. Maybe I could have called it box, I suppose. Then put the pen up, hide the turtle so that I don't see that arrow. The turtle is shown by an arrow. Then go to this leftmost corner, bottom. Put the pen down, change the color to black. If you set turtle.color, it changes the pen color as well as the fill color, okay? So this would be a convenient thing to do if you want the same color to be applied for filling as well as for the outline. Then go to each coordinate that is given in the pseudocode. That gets the big box drawn. Then lift the pen up, and here is the code for drawing the first circle. So here it starts here and ends here. I lift the pen up so that I don't see my travels on the screen permanently. Go to the location that I have in the pseudocode, set its direction to right, horizontal, put the color violet, put the pen down, start filling, create a circle, and end the filling, so the circle will be filled. Now it is just a matter of copying and pasting the same code. I just copied and pasted. This is what I did, honestly. I drew a box and then wrote the code for drawing one circle and copied and pasted. Once I knew that it was working perfectly, it took a while to get that done. But then once I got that working, I copied and pasted, adjusted the X axis. It is exactly the same code except for the X coordinate and the color. Nothing else is different. So a seemingly difficult problem can be handled if you approach it properly. Okay? And any questions at this point? I will post this, not immediately, but I will post it after we break out into groups for the class exercise. Any questions?
Yes, please. Can you explain again why it's the first circle minus a window width 3 divided by 7?
The first circle?
Why is there 3 divided by 7?
Oh, okay. There are 7 circles, right?
Yes.
So if the 7 circles have to fit into a width of W, each one has to have a diameter of 1/7 of that width.
Yes.
So the height of the box has to be then W divided by 7.
Yes.
And the radius will be 1/2 of that, right? That is the reason. Do you follow what I'm saying?
No, the 3 I don't understand. The 3.
The
number 3.
Oh, okay, okay. The number 3. All right. All right. This is at the center, right? So
Yes.
it is 0, 0. So X coordinate is 0, right?
Yes.
And since the diameter is W over 7, this is W over 14 to the circumference.
Yes.
Another W over 14 here to this center. So
Yeah.
the sum of these two would be W over 7.
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Anything else? Any other detail? Okay, then let me explain today's lab. It is, if you have understood this, the lab is not going to be anything substantially difficult. You have to plan it like this, the way I suggested. And you can do the planning as part of the class exercise, but write the Python code on your own. Let me go ahead and show you the lab. The lab is available on the D2L. You need to get the width and height of a box, not just the width, unlike what you have here. Then you need to draw 5 rectangles filled with these colors: red, yellow, blue, orange, and green, in this order. That is the lab. Okay. So I would suggest that you follow these directions here and work on that in that manner. So I will post the Python code and the design documents that I have for the example into the lecture part of the D2L site. And you should go to your breakout room, work with your roommates, to, on the first 10 or 11 problems that are in the class exercise, there are multiple choice or that kind of stuff, or short answer, and then work with them on the pseudocode. So try to proceed promptly. Then once you finish, you can come back to the main room, and we will create again rooms for working on the Python code. So don't work on the Python code in the breakout room. I mean, if you do it, you can do it, but don't discuss with each other at that point. Okay, let me go ahead and create the breakout rooms. I promise I will copy this stuff as you move into your breakout rooms. I may be just a couple of minutes late into coming to the first room. Let me go ahead.